Hi everyone, my name is Cody. I hope you all are doing well. My topic that I'm going to be discussing is China's first aircraft carrier, the Liaoning. It's finals week, and I hope you all do really well in your finals. I hope you enjoy my presentation, and let's start. My presentation is on the Liaoning and what it means to China. I'll be arguing in the realist perspective that the Liaoning is a symbol of China's global power, and it's a symbol of China becoming a superpower. And in the end, war is inevitable with a rising power conflicting with the current dominant power. Here I have a table of contexts. We're going to be talking about a brief history of the Liaoning, a symbol of power, current similarities to the Cold War, what an aircraft carrier means to the West, the South Sea conflict, President Xi Jinping, the Decidius trap, and then the bigger picture. A brief history of the Liaoning. It was acquired by Xu Jinping, an naval aviation enthusiast, and he spent 20 million of his own money to get the carrier that he found in Moscow. China ended up incorporating in their navy, but they did not reimburse Xu Jinping for the 20 million. Currently, the Liaoning is used as a training base, while the other two carriers are in production. It was commissioned in September 2012. This is just a picture of the Liaoning. Here are two quotes I found online in articles how the Liaoning is a symbol of power. The first quote says, "The symbolism is that China is a great power. Great powers have aircraft carriers, and China too has an aircraft carrier." President Xi said, "We need to do more to take interest in the sea, understand the sea, and strategically manage the sea, and continually do more to promote China's efforts to become a maritime power." The Liaoning is a symbol in the Chinese people's eyes of China's return to great power. But although it does not currently match the naval power of the US, we are challengers to the US Navy. Many articles online compare China's naval rising power to the Soviet Union's naval power during the Cold War. In the beginning, the Soviet Navy was not a real threat. China's Navy was not considered a threat either. By the late 1960s, the Soviet increased their Navy power by adding an aircraft carrier. China in 2012 acquired the Liaoning, their first aircraft carrier, and currently have two more in production. But the Soviet Union lacked the knowledge, so their ships had a lot of mechanical failures, while China is increasing spending on their Navy and slowly gaining more knowledge in order to operate their carriers more efficiently. And the two in production are considered to be even more advanced than the Liaoning. What the aircraft carrier means to America, it's a forward military presence, and former President Bill Clinton honored the carrier's importance when he said, "When word of crisis breaks out in Washington, it's no accident the first question that comes to everyone's lips is, where's the nearest carrier?" Aircraft carriers are moving cities, and since carriers are free to roam the seas and the sea makes up 70% of the Earth's surface, the aircraft carrier remains an important part of America's power and image. The presence of the aircraft carrier and ownership of one already boosts the nation's image and power. It is a statement to every other nation that those who own a carrier is superior. For decades, the U.S. carrier fleets have offered decision makers a range of diplomatic and strategic advantages. China's first aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, is a statement telling their people and other nations that they also now are on their way to become a superpower. The South Sea conflict. The Liaoning currently does not pose a threat against America, but causes a great fear to nations like the Philippines and Vietnam. Both of these nations are involved in a continuous maritime dispute with China. Modern ways of winning wars are to have air superiority, and the dispute in the South Sea China Seas is very far from land. Having an aircraft carrier, no matter what size, will create a defense bubble, and having aircrafts on it would be an advantage when everyone else does not have the ability to have the aircraft overhead for any long period of time. The Liaoning embarked on his first voyage with a full naval strike group, similar to the gunboat diplomacy practiced by the Western nations a century ago. Although China's naval power does not match America's naval power, their increased projected power can create fear and uncertainty among its neighbors, especially against Vietnam, the Philippines, and Japan. China does not need to match the US Navy, but only to build a Navy with credible means to project power. Here's a map representing the South Sea conflict that the Vietnam, Philippines, and China and Taiwan are currently always in conflict for. This is the current president of China, President Xi Jinping. His vision is to make China even more prosperous and pledge to become a modern socialist strong power. He says, by building a strong and modern navy, it is an important mark of a top ranking global military. President Xi Jinping is considered the most powerful leader since Mao Zedong. The Thucydides trap warns of the danger when a rising power comes into conflict with a ruling one. What made war inevitable was the growth of Athenian power and the fear which this caused in Sparta. In the past 500 years, we have seen 16 cases in which a rising power threatened to displace a ruling one. 12 of these ended in wars. The bigger picture that I believe, since taking a realist perspective, is that there's no way to avoid the Thucydides trap. There will be a war between China and the US in the future as China's power continues to grow. The Liaoning is the first step in increasing Chinese pride, and because of that, it has increased their navy, which has been able to challenge the United States Navy. That's all for my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you all for listening to my presentation. I look forward to watching your presentations as well, and just want to hope that everyone has a great holiday and New Year's. I had a blast working with you guys and taking this class with you. Thanks. Bye.